Ukraine unveils its first domestic manufactured Bohdana towed howitzer in a new documentary released by the Ukrainian Armed Forces Strategic Command on Thursday. The system is based on the artillery unit of the self-propelled Bohdana and comes mounted on a towed carriage adapted from the Soviet-era Tu-36 Yatsen B howitzer. At 52 calibers, the barrel length remains identical to the original and has a firing range of around 40 kilometers using a standard 155mm shell. The weight of the complete system exceeds 10 tons and has an estimated cost of $2 million. Russia launched a mass drone attack overnight on the city of Kharkiv, killing 5 people and injuring 34, including 3 children. This was reported by the head of the Kharkiv Regional Administration, Oleg Sinehubov, who also said an 88-year-old man who was seriously injured in the strike later died in the hospital. According to the regional prosecutor's office, preliminary data identified that a 12-year-old girl, her father and mother, and their 45-year-old neighbor were killed in the attack. The strike impacted a multi-story residential building in the Novobovarsky district, with Kharkiv's mayor describing the city as once again engulfed in flames.
There was a hit on a densely populated residential area. Many residential buildings are damaged. Around 30 buildings are damaged as well. Private houses are damaged also.
Overnight, Russian forces launched a wave of drone and missile attacks across multiple regions of Ukraine. In the Kyiv region, drones struck the Brovary district, injuring 2 people. The strikes ignited fires that destroyed 2 trucks and damaged over 20 cars, while a car showroom also caught on fire. In Zaporizhia, 2 civilians, a 70-year-old woman and a 63-year-old man, were injured in a Russian drone attack. In Dnipro and its suburbs, Russia's overnight drone assault damaged an infrastructure facility, 2 administrative buildings, several houses, and a farm building. Cars, gas pipelines, and power lines were also damaged. There were no reported casualties. In total, Russian troops launched 78 attack and decoy drones against Ukraine, 42 of which were shot down, while 22 decoys did not reach their intended targets. A senior NATO official stated that more than 900,000 Russian troops have been lost since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, including 250,000 killed. This was reported by Deutsche Welle during the alliance's foreign ministers' meeting in Brussels on April 4th. According to NATO estimates, Russia continues to suffer around 1,000 casualties, killed or wounded, each day. While recruitment is currently keeping pace with their losses, the official noted that Russian advances along the front are slowing, even as the Kremlin remains willing to absorb mounting casualties for limited battlefield gains. UK and French delegates met in Kyiv to discuss foreign contingent deployment, reported Suspended Media on Friday. According to their sources, the meeting was convened at a high military level with the French delegation led by Chief of the Defense Staff Thierry Burkhardt and Sir Anthony Ratikin for the British. They plan to meet with President Zelensky on Friday to discuss the possibility of the coalition of willing members deploying their troops in Ukraine. Kyiv will receive additional F-16 fighter jets as Ukrainian pilots are continuing their training, said General Christopher Cavoli, commander of U.S. European Command. He stated this at a U.S. Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on April 3rd, adding that he could only provide specific numbers in a closed session.
There are a number of F-16s in there. There are a number of pilots in there. There are more F-16s prepared to be deployed in there. There are more pilots in the training pipeline, sir. I can give you the numbers in closed session. They are active. The planes are active, and they fly every day. They've defeated a large number of cruise missile threats, and they've delivered an awful lot of offensive attacks as well.
European foreign ministers convened in Brussels for a routine spring gathering. The goal for this meeting is clear, wrote Radio Free Europe, to keep the alliance together by considerably ramping up defense spending.
So today I look forward to discussing how we can further strengthen the bond between Europe and North America and make NATO into a stronger, fairer and more lethal alliance at our summit in The Hague.
Further support for Ukraine is also among the topics of today's discussions. Speaking ahead of the meeting, the Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha pointed out that Kyiv is not the obstacle for peace in the ongoing war with Russia.
After Jeddah, we got additional speed, additional opportunities to speed up peace efforts. Ukraine unconditionally supported US proposal, interim full ceasefire. Ukraine is not the obstacle for peace. Now, ball on Russia side. Now I think it is obvious who wants peace and who wants war. We must get Russia serious about peace. We must pressure Russia into peace.
European foreign ministers also blame Russia for thwarting the US push for peace talks. In a clear bid to persuade the Trump administration to take a harder line on Moscow, reported Reuters. Instead of accepting the ceasefire, Russia is merely stalling for time, believes UK Foreign Minister David Lammy. Speaking ahead of a meeting at the NATO headquarters in Brussels, he stated that Putin continues to be deliberately confusing.
It is still the case that our judgment is that Putin continues to obfuscate, continues to drag his feet. He could accept a ceasefire now. He continues to bombard Ukraine, its civilian population, its energy supplies. We see you, Vladimir Putin. We know what you are doing.
Lammy's French counterpart Jean-Noël Barrot stressed that Russia owes an answer to the US, which worked hard to come up with a ceasefire proposal. The answer is a simple yes or no, and has to be answered quickly, added the French foreign minister.
Building a very strong Ukrainian army that is going to be the first layer of any guarantee or any guaranteed peace in a lasting sense. And second, there will be at some point need for military capacity or reassurance whenever peace is reached. And this is the reason why our army chiefs will be in Kyiv today in order to advance this work, because our goal is to reach peace and for this peace to be just and to be lasting.
Since its creation, the Demining Capability Coalition, one of 8 coalitions formed under the Ukraine Defense Contact Group framework, raised almost $55 million in partnership contributions. This was reported by Ukraine's Ministry of Defense. The coalition was established in February 2024 in response to the contamination of vast areas of land with explosive remnants of war and landmines, posing a deadly danger to civilians and hampering reconstruction. Led by Lithuania and Iceland, the coalition is currently the largest of its kind, with 22 participating countries. Within its work, Ukrainian engineering and transport units have already received more than 200 specialized vehicles, 100 explosive obstacle breaching systems, 41 armored vehicles, 330 metal detectors, 154 anti-drone rifles, and a range of additional technical gear and supplies. In addition, over 4,000 Ukrainian demining specialists were trained in accordance with NATO and IMAS standards. Secretary of State Marco Rubio assured partners that Vladimir Putin's willingness for peace will become apparent pretty soon. During a press conference following a 2-day NATO foreign ministers meeting in Brussels, he stated that it will become apparent from Russia's answers very soon whether Moscow is serious about proceeding with real peace or whether they're using delay tactics.
We will know soon enough, in a matter of weeks, not months, whether Russia is serious about peace or not. I hope they are. It would be good for the world if that war ended. But obviously we have to test that proposition. President Trump's not going to fall into the trap of endless negotiations about negotiations. We will know soon enough whether or not Russia is serious about peace. If they are, that'll be great. Then we can move towards peace. If they're not, then we'll have to reevaluate where we stand and what we do moving forward about it.
Speaking at the press conference after the meeting, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte stated that the consensus from discussions with ministers is that as the world is becoming more dangerous, NATO is needed now more than ever. He underlined that Russia poses a threat to the security of the alliance members.
Whatever the challenges we face, we need to make sure that we have the forces and capabilities necessary to deter aggression and defend ourselves should anyone make the mistake of attacking. So we will invest more, much more, as so many allies have already begun to do. We will produce more and more quickly.
Answering a question about what he believes to be a sustainable peace for Ukraine, Rutte stressed that it would be a situation where Russia never again tries to seize even a square kilometer of Ukrainian territory.